Yes, Xiaohongshu. So, we all recall, a little less than a year ago, there was a swarm of foreigners, predominantly Americans, rushing onto the RedNote Xiaohongshu platform. And the whole basis for that move was what was called the TikTok refugee movement. And you had a concern that the TikTok platform in America was going to be shut down. And a lot of individuals in America were saying, well, we need a new platform, and they came to Xiaohongshu. Lasted for a couple of weeks, maybe some people spent a couple of months on there, but we all now know today the number of foreigners, myself excluded, there's not many of us, very few in fact. My expectation is very much that next year you're going to see another wave of predominantly Americans flood back into RedNote for the similar, not exact same, but similar reason, and that is TikTok right now is in the process, not completed, but in the process of selling its American operations to a group of American companies. So basically, the American TikTok platform is going to become owned by American companies. Okay. So why does that mean that you will have a flood of RedNote users? It's all about the algorithm. There is no question for anyone that of all social media platforms in the entire world, TikTok has the best algorithm. It feeds you what you want, keeps you engaged, you're on the platform all the time. It's been great for advertising revenue, you name it. Part of the deal to buy TikTok requires that the Chinese are going to not sell, but they're going to license out the algorithm to the Americans that buy the platform. The Americans then are going to go in and they're going to change the algorithm. Now, I don't know how they're going to change it, but they're going to change it. And I feel extremely confident, I don't know for certain, but confident, that when those changes are made to the platform, it is going to have a rather dramatic effect on the user experience. It's just not going to be as good. It'll take a bit of time, but the users in America are going to be able to start seeing that it's not as good. But there's another, I think, important driver, if you will, for Americans to move from TikTok to RedNote. And unfortunately, it's politics. If you've followed the American political news cycles, basically America is split in two. Team red, team blue, whatever you want to call it. The TikTok deal is very closely associated with President Trump. His friends are the ones that are buying TikTok. The half of the country that does not support Donald Trump is not going to want to be on a platform that they believe is either owned or even controlled, if you will, by President Trump and his friends. So they're going to exit and they're going to look for something else. And the experience earlier this year on RedNote for so many Americans was very, very positive. So that is where I think, those are the drivers where I suspect will lead to users leaving TikTok, moving to RedNote. Now, there are a couple of issues quickly just to note. It's become a little bit more difficult for foreigners to get on RedNote. You have to verify, meaning you have to put your passport and verify that you are an actual human being, you're not a bot. This is difficult, I think, for some Americans to do. The whole concept of we're giving our information to the Chinese government type of thing. Some people don't have a passport. Younger people just don't have a passport. So there are, I think, issues that RedNote will be facing when those users come on. I also believe that they're trying to keep the numbers of foreigners at a reasonable number. They're not looking again for another flood of individuals to come in, but we'll see. But I do believe that RedNote is going to see a real renaissance over the course of the next year, simply because the TikTok platform in America is going to become far less valuable and far less user-friendly.